live, uncut, unedited.
Come on
You
in,
already know
people.
what it is.
Yep. Live, uncut, unedited. All right. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Live, uncut, unedited. Mm-hmm. All right. Come on in, people. Come on in. Come on in. What's going on? Come on in, people. Great discussion today. Great discussion today. Great discussion today. Yeah, rappers getting killed. Getting shot and killed. Why? Why? And those of us that live in these areas, we see a lot of things. We follow. We got nephews and we got nieces that's rappers and aspire rappers. Man, what message are we sending? What should we do? I tell you. All right, Atlanta in the house, man. They jumping early. Jumping early. What's going on? Live, uncut, unedited. Let me hear you. Where you calling from? Turn your radio down, sir. Facebook, turn your
What's
Facebook.
going on, brother Mark?
All right, what's going on? Where you calling
This
from?
Sammy Shields, my brother.
Okay, where you calling from, brother?
I'm calling from Florida, bro, but it's everywhere.
Okay, Florida. All right, well, look,
See,
come on,
this
talk
is
to
Sam,
us.
but you know, I'm from the low end of Chicago, so.
Yes, sir.
But I'll say this, you say rappers getting killed, right?
Right.
These guys had other things they had going on before they got famous.
Okay.
So sometimes your past can come back and catch
you. Okay.
Now, another thing.
Let me ask you. Okay, before you go there, let's talk about Biggie and Tupac first. Let's lay some foundation because we old enough to talk about it. So let's lay the foundation. So we just want to let the audience know that this is nothing new, right? Nothing new.
Right. It's just that we got social media now.
Right. You know, we had the West Coast and the East Coast beef.
Exactly.
Man. So for those of us that don't know about these beef back in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, just give us a little education about some of this stuff just stirring up. Just, you know, this is nothing new. Just
here's what I'll say.
Okay.
Just my opinion.
Okay.
I just think Biggie and Pac got caught between something that they just don't know about. You know, we're familiar with the gang world, the gang life from California, Chicago, wherever. So I just think those brothers got caught into a lifestyle that they just really don't know about. Yeah, Biggie was from the streets of New York, but when you're talking about the gang world, that's a whole different thing. So, you know, we know the history of Pac, very intelligent brother, came through a digital underground, and he really turned himself into a thug. By the time he was, 2019, because very, you know, some people are born into this lifestyle.
Right.
And some people can come into an image.
Say it, brother. Say it.
And so there's some people born into it. And some people can say, this is the image that I'm going to portray because this is what the world wants. And that's when it becomes dangerous because we have people out here straddling the fence. Listen, if you're a janitor, you're a school teacher, you're a fireman, whatever you're going to be that. But you can't play both sides of the streets. You can't play it. And that's what's going on. A lot of these rappers, they think that that's a badge of honor to die young. That's BS. It shouldn't be like that. But thank you for your platform, Martin, because you got people out here double dipping. That means that the platforms are building their brand off the violence. So they're double dipping. you're telling a young man, put the guns down, but you're playing his music, you're glorifying it, you edging it on, you're talking. But see, the thing about it is the ordinary people know what's going on. But you have the young brothers and the young sisters that's been in poverty and disparities for so long. So by the time they taste that money, it's they don't want to go back to poverty. So now people taking advantage of them. They, you know, who wants to taste poverty once they're out?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the young kids, they don't have like how I had coming on the low end, the OGs, the heads, they made me go to school. They told me to go to school. They told me, man, listen, this ain't what you're gonna be a part of. That's how it was when I was coming up on the low end on 45th and Cottage.
Right.
So I understand. Then I have my uncles, my father, and people even today, my uncles and the old heads, they tell you, I'm 48 years old. I haven't talked to not one of my buddies that's sitting in prison that told me, oh, hey, Junior, come in here. It's cool to be in here. Know what they tell me? No, G, keep doing what you're doing because that's why I'm glad you did it the way you did it.
Mm-hmm.
And see, it's a lot of people misleading. And so like now the rappers that's getting killed is for many reasons, Martin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of them are in this lifestyle.
Right.
There's some of them around the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of them are in this lifestyle, but guess what? You know, like they told us, you just because you change, that don't mean the streets change.
Say it, brother.
You know, a lot of guys right now toting Bibles that done changed their life around, but they still watching their back.
Yeah, still watching
for their past.
Yeah.
Their family didn't forget. They got victims out here that they didn't hurt. They got people they didn't victimize. So now when that brother go and say, man, I changed my life, I'm going to church now. But guess what? There's other people that didn't forget that, what you did to their family.
Say it, brother. Say it.
So we got to look at this in a big scope. Just because me and you ain't gangbang, we know a lot of cats in Chicago that ain't gangbanging, but they got street smarts.
Yes.
So and then we got a lot of guys that's in college street smarts. We got a lot of guys that ain't never been to college that's school smart. So, but it's so much to this that, you know, it's so sad because of course we know it's systematic schemes. We know what's going on. We know that they don't pour into our communities. We know they don't water our kids. We know all of this. So if you don't water it, it can't grow.
Mm-hmm.
So me and you know this, but when you see a young black man dying, or the young girls too, they getting killed, they're dying.
Yes, they are.
That's not a badge of honor. And we need to first dismantle that. Stop letting these kids know it shouldn't be an option of dying young and going to prison. That shouldn't even be an option.
Mm-hmm.
But we glorify it. And when I say we, I'm talking about as far as us because we allow it. Call it out. Like you said, you call it out. You call it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
What you say, the truth hurts.
Yeah, the truth.
You know, you always say that.
Tell the truth. And let me say something to you, brother. Now, I'm gonna say this now, and I always get into it with a lot of parents and all that. And don't get me wrong, some of this young rap music, they got great lyrics. I've listened to some of it, man. But all it's doing is flaming the violence out here. It's like a small fire, but when a fan comes, it's flaming. It's keeping it alive and all that. And I'm not going to diss no radio station, but it's a certain radio station that always somehow stop the violence, put on the gun, but you're playing that violent music. But
here's the thing, Martin. Whether it's social media, YouTube,
right, or
whatever, the message is going to get out there.
Right.
So that's why we have to also self-educate and self-teach our kids to listen. Just because it's out there, that don't mean you take part in it.
Yes, sir.
So that's not going nowhere. That's a part of the world now. Social media, trill music, rap lyrics, whatever it is, that's a part of the world. But we also have to tell our kids, hey, listen, man, you can go, what they used to say, is trouble easy to get into, but it's hard to get out. Just because it's sin right there don't mean we have to eat from that tree, though.
That's right.
So I'm not going to just knock the rap artist because it is what it is. That seed been planted, Martin.
Yes, it is.
That seed been planted, brother. So now what we do is we can't, because it was planted, 40 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
NWA, Scarface, the Ghetto Boys, Rapper Forte, Too Short, Ice-T. This been planted. Mm-hmm. So then you got to realize, even Chicago, we had the Style Us, we had Do or Die, we had we had some good Crucial Conflict, we had Twister, but we didn't glorify the lifestyle. Right. We tried to have fun with it, make you feel good. Everybody had the swag with it, but you're feeding negativity in its sales now. When you're talking, Martin, no one wants to hear you because you're talking logic.
Mm-hmm.
You're weird. That's what society has taught us. When you're talking logic, you're weird. You're strange.
Mm-hmm.
See, logic don't exist no more. Common sense don't exist no more. But you're just like this, Mark. You remember back in the days, you used to be in the classroom. You had that one class clown, and that was me. You had about 30 students, but you had that one class clown. Now it's backwards. You have probably about 5 or 6 students that want to learn, but about 25 of them want chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So so what's good is bad now, and what's bad is good.
Yeah, it's backwards.
So it's backwards. So like when you see these rappers, and I hear good things about the young man. I hear the young man that just got killed. What, Takeoff?
Yeah.
I hear great things about him, but he had to keep up with the Joneses. You have to keep up with this image, and eventually that image catches up with you. He was an innocent bystander, so that's what I heard. But it can also be the crowd, the people you're around. Mm-hmm. We see it done every day in Chicago, Florida. It's the, so we have to teach our kids to be individuals and know when to walk away. Know when to say, hey, listen, it's getting crazy. Let me get in the car and go. Let me get the Uber and go. Let me just start walking up 2 blocks to get away from this.
Let me say
because
something.
It's not going nowhere.
Yes, right.
So how do we teach our kids how to live in the midst of the chaos?
That's a good way of thinking.
See, we keep saying how to get rid of it. It's not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. So that's just like with me, Mark. And let me just put this out here. I'm the type of dude, I suffer from depression, right?
Right.
So my depression is not going anywhere. So I had to learn coping skills and how to live in the midst of what's going on with me.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And it's the same thing. You learn how to maneuver. You know it, maneuver, move around. The words we use, move around, because it's not going nowhere.
No, you're right, brother. And you know what? We got to admit that.
I'm sorry.
You're right. We got to admit that, brother. And you're right. You gave me a different insight today, because we talk about shooting and killing. Let's realize, people, it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not going. How are we going to deal with it? It's not going anywhere.
Exactly. It's not going anywhere.
I'm gonna look at things from a different perspective.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
Because that was just something I brought me to cut you off. That was something I just do in life, Mark, whereas though my pain, or everybody, we all suffer from some type of pain, right?
Right. It's
not going anywhere. 95% of people in Chicago suffer from post-traumatic stress. Something that's happened in their life that they suffer from post-traumatic stress, something. And their pain is not going anywhere. We just learn to live and cope with it. Mm-hmm. There's no solution. And we need to, and that's the thing about it. Let's be real and say, hey, the solution, because it's a part of life. That's just some things that's a part of life. And I'm sorry to tell people, bad things is a part of life, just like good things. Mm-hmm. But we have to learn how to live in the midst of it. Mm-hmm. That's where we at now. Because there's too much bloodshed, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody is not going to lay down to say, hey, man, I'm not going to forgive him. He killed my friend. He killed my sister. Like you keep saying, it's going to go on and on and on and on for the next generation, this generation. So if you notice, it's been going on for what, years, right, Martin?
Yes, years.
It hasn't stopped.
It hasn't stopped.
So that's what the problem is. We spending too much time on trying to stop it and just realizing, guess what? It is what it is. Now let's see how we live in the midst of this shit. Excuse my language.
Let me ask you a question. Now, that same gas station where the shooting took place, I was in that gas station like 2 days ago, maybe 3. It was either Monday or Tuesday. I believe it was Monday. Tuesday. I think it was Monday. And I had this uneasy feeling, man. It was a real uneasy feeling that I had in myself. I said, man, even though I met someone that followed me, and after I pumped my gas and I stayed there an extra 2 or 3 minutes, normally something I don't do. I normally exchange numbers, tell them inbox me and talk, but we were talking and I was like, Dan, come back 3 or 4 days later and ride by and just see, hey, this is a crime scene. What happened over here? I was just over here. So it's people, I don't know, brother. I see rappers getting shot and killed all over the country. It's not just here in Chicago. It's not a
Yeah.
Chicago thing, people. So get
It's
that
not
out
a
of your
Chicago
mind.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
not.
It's not a Chicago thing.
It's not a
And,
Chicago
and,
thing.
and let's just be honest. Chicago hasn't been the one on the news where rappers come in town and they've been getting killed. These been other cities.
Other cities.
Chicago, it's just Chicago hasn't been the one. LA, Texas and Atlanta. This hasn't been Chicago because we have certain other things we have to really worry about.
Right.
We got to worry about within.
Right. Let me ask you a question, my dear brother. Now, you don't have to answer it, but you can if you want. There's a twist. Do you know a rapper in your family, an aspired rapper in your family, or some, maybe your nephew or your grandson or some? You don't have to mention your name if you know one.
Yes, I know a lot of them.
Okay. I'm so as far as are you?
And I tell them.
Okay.
And I tell them, be careful how you putting them videos out. Be careful how you walking because people see it. It's image, and that could be some of my nephews, any of my little cousins, any of them. Just TikTok. People watch what you do. You could be playing, and they ain't playing.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to tell them image matters. What you put out, it cannot come back.
Say it, brother.
So let me tell you something. I'm that dude that's gonna call them and tell them, hey, listen, man, take that down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm blessed that I still have nephews and little cousins and nieces and play nieces and nephews that still listen to me. It's not. I don't approach them like that. I don't come aggressive, but I tell them to take it down. I tell them why to take it down.
Mm-hmm.
And see, one thing my uncles told me, and I was taught, let me tell you something, boy, whatever you go out here and do, it don't just affect you. It affects everybody that loves you around you. So that's why I used to second guess things I do. And see, and that's what I'm saying. It's so many layers to this, Martin, because I can't tell it, man, you can't tell a kid, I see you with your daughters. I see you about family, right?
Right.
A lot of these kids ain't got that, Martin. I love my mama. I didn't touch my mama heartbeat. I know how it feel to have a mom. Some of these kids don't have that. They've been thrown to the belly of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
So what I kid, they not gonna relate to me. Oh man, don't do it, man. I got a mother. They like, hey, well, my mother didn't want me. My daddy didn't want me. So that's a different kind of hurt. That's abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
So you're dealing with so many different kids. You're dealing with kids of peer pressure. You're dealing with kids that's going along to be alone. You're going along with kids on drugs. You're dealing with kids that just say, hey, I just want to be a part of the fight. You're dealing with kids that's hurt. It's layers to this.
It is. It's definitely right.
I remember growing up on 45th and College. I just, as a kid, I was just the low end period. You became none because the same place, Martin, that they regentrified now that's looking beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of brothers and sisters lost their lives down there.
Yes, they did.
But it's looking beautiful now, ain't it?
Yeah, beautiful.
So that means they can change it when they want to.
Right.
When it benefits them.
Yeah.
Peep game.
Yeah.
They can change it because it's beautiful down there. Not to say that they ain't valid, that's not what I'm saying. But they still changed it because they had a bigger means for it. Like now you got the low end picnics. You don't hear nobody fight. You got all the different projects come together. All the different neighborhoods come together now. So it can be changed. Or I'll just say this, it can be better.
Okay.
But we got to learn how to live in the midst of it. It's not going there. So that's why so many people frustrated, because people think this is just going to stop. No, this is a plant that's been planted. These are seeds that are planted.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Some people believe in eye for an eye, 2 for a 2.
Yeah.
Some people believe in revenge. So they ain't letting nothing go.
Yep, that is true, brother. That's true. We all got our own feelings and all our own emotions.
Bingo. What me and you think is logic, other person like, well, Martin, I love you. I see what you're saying. You like, brother, squash that. They looking like, well, I ain't squashing nothing. We don't agree with it, but we understand.
Right. It wasn't your brother or your cousin got shot.
Exactly.
Your nephew.
Exactly.
And
not enough empathy around here.
Right. I understand too. You know, it's
I don't have to agree, but I understand.
Right.
Yep, exactly.
And you know, it's a lot of young brothers respect what I do in the community. They respect me, but I mean, like you say, hurt is hurt, man. And some people want you to feel the pain that they feel.
Exactly.
They
Yes,
want
sir.
you. Now, and I tell brothers, now some of you guys is just getting out of prison. You shot and killed somebody. You serve your time. But
I hear you talk about that.
You free from jail, but you're not free from the streets.
The streets do not forgive.
They do not.
The streets do not forgive, and they do not forget.
They do not
Period.
forget. Period. Yeah, you change your life. Yeah, you're not about that life.
But then what about the people you victimized?
Right.
They carry this for years and years and years. They suppress that pain. They've been waiting to see you.
Yeah.
You took this kid dad. You took this young lady's dad. You took this person's nephew, uncle. And so you have to realize that those are things that stick in people's head. So that's why I was saying, man, you can have a whole 30 parts to this stuff, subject matter, because it's deep. It goes back to people. Pain. Seeds are planted.
Yes.
Pain is planted, man. And we know people can suppress it, and it will erupt like a volcano at any time.
Yeah.
You know, so you like I say, you're on the right path, but we got to also look back and say, maybe this is what it is.
Yeah.
Because there's no solution.
Yeah.
I was listening to James Baldwin one time, and he was talking about progress. We haven't seen no progress. That's just the truth. Chicago's been built on violence since the 1920s, Al Capone era. It ain't just got violent. But it's a lot of finger pointing going on. Chicago was violent under the Daddy Daley, Emmanuel Daley, Emmanuel, not Lightfoot, because that's the way Chicago rolled.
And
I don't care what mayor's sitting there, you still got to realize that you go home, you get in your bed, and these streets still moving. Still moving, brother. They still moving. They still moving. And I should tell people, the kids reach the council, Martin, and I should tell people, we got these kids for 2 hours, but they got to go back to the belly of the beast for another 18, 20 hours.
Say it, brother. Say it.
And so that's the thing about it. We people want what they want, but they're not looking at it through different eyes and lenses, bro.
Right. Now, let me say something. For those of you that's not familiar what we're talking about, wasn't raised in the hood, didn't have to face some of the things that we face, and some of us is born into this, we didn't have a choice. If you born, and you know what I'm gonna say, bro, if you born in a certain building, you are that, even if you're not that. You live in that building.
Yes, sir.
If you're born on a certain block and you're not that, but you are that because you live on that block. Yes,
sir.
You are placed in this. You are placed. This brother, matter of fact, go talk about that a little bit, brother. You got a lot of experience.
Yes, like I say, let me tell you something. I'm from the 45th and College, low end.
Right.
I went to school in Wilmette. I went to Loyola Academy. I passed by 20 different public schools, but I went all the way to Wilmette, Illinois back in 1988, 89, 90, but I had to come home. See what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, but that's a part of my DNA. I've seen a lot of my friends leave here. I've seen a lot of my friends leave by gun violence and everything. But like you said, you are part of it. I don't care if you even in a suburb gated community. Whatever goes on, it affects you. Yes, and that's the problem. People don't think it affects them. Let me just say this.
Go ahead, my brother.
When your kids leave that house, so I got this thing that's called 3 elements, Martin. From the house to the home to the streets. No, I'm sorry, from the streets, from the school to the home. Those are 3 different elements in a child's life. Home, streets, school. School, streets, home. He got to walk through the streets to get to school. He got to walk through the streets to get back home. So if one of those elements are affected, it can affect all 3.
Give us an example, brother. Go ahead. Give us one example.
He can have something going on at home, right?
Right.
He got to walk through the streets to get to school. But he can't concentrate in school. He can't concentrate. He don't want to even go to the school. He gonna stop right there in the middle of the streets and hang out with them guys. You feel me? You got some kids that can't keep up at school. They're struggling with illiteracy. They can't really read, or they just can't keep up. guess what? I don't even feel like going in them doors. Where they gonna stop at, Martin? In them streets.
Yeah.
And so now, once the parent found out he ain't going to school, that means the house finna be chaos, right?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Those are the three elements. That's as a child, as an adolescent child, that definitely need to be worked on, because the streets is what they are.
Yes.
Back then, you used to have, and then what made it so bad, Martin, the parents and the teachers not on the same page no more. So anything goes now.
Say that, brother.
So we've gotten away from so many things that we thought were working, but we're not willing to change for what is happening now. What worked in the 70s and 80s don't work in 2022. You can't put your finger in these kids' faces and say, this is what I told you to do. You need to be seen and not heard. No, these kids need to be heard. Man, I look at so many platforms, Martin, where you got everybody up there with doctorate and lawyers and doctors and professors and police officers, but you ain't got not one kid from the neighborhood who's really going through it on the platform. Nobody want to hear what you're talking about.
That's right, brother. I said it.
What about these kids?
That's right. And I used to be.
But everybody want their ego stroke. They want to talk about their titles. They want to talk about their PhDs. Man, listen, I've been in a circle with all types of guys, all types of that. But when you got a kid, you have to bring, when I need to know something about rap music, Martin, I go to my kids. I go to my nieces and nephews. So if you bring these kids along, but the adults, some of the adults have divided themselves from the kids.
Right.
Man, I don't want to be bothered with them. Leave them where they at.
Okay, let me
no embracement.
Let me say something. Somebody said from YouTube, they said, are y'all saying that every person from the hood has no choice but to be a street person? No, that's not what we're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. If they listen, what I'm saying is what he's in that environment. Whatever happens in that environment affects everyone. That's what we're saying. We're not saying because you're from the hood, you're going to do what they do in the hood, because everybody has a mind of their own. But what happens, and guess what? We're not even going to say the hood. We could just say within the community, within the church, within the school, within a group of people there, a group of community. Whatever happens within that group of community, within that village, within that hub, within that cubicle of a group of people affects everybody.
All right, brother.
We're going to take the word hood out.
Let's give you an example. Now, just the other day on Halloween, we had 14 people got shot on the west side of Chicago. Now, out of all those 14 people, how many of those people you think that's connected? They got families that hurt. That's
everybody.
Everybody.
A lot of them.
That hurt a lot of families.
A lot of families.
A lot of families. That's
so
trauma.
that's what and see, and that's what I'm saying, Mark. Like the person with the YouTube, that's cool. They can ask questions like that.
Right.
But sometimes we gotta really stop. Like if somebody telling me something, Martin, I gotta really take it to listen. That don't mean I have to agree, but I have to listen.
Right.
It's always pushback.
Right.
And that don't even mean what it means. Some people want confrontation. Some people want to say, man, they know exactly what you be talking about, but they want confrontation. So my thing is, yes, you got to be specific nowadays and just say, hey, listen, wherever you at, it's going to affect what you do. Or somebody's around you. That's all you're saying.
That's it.
Of course we know if you're in the hood, a lot of people have made it out.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people have made it out. And when they say hood, and that's what gets me when they say hood. Hood ain't always got to be pertain to black people.
Say it, bro.
All these negative stereotypes don't always have to come with us. You reap what you sow. Right. You know, all this stuff, consequences for your actions. These you can sow positive and reap positive.
Say it, brother.
But every negative stereotype, it looks at us. If we use it towards us. Like people say the low end wasn't no lowest standard people. That's because the numbers was the lowest numbers.
That's it, brother. Say it. Say it, brother.
It wasn't about no low poverty and low standard. That's because them was the lowest numbers.
That's it. That's it, brother.
But guess what? If you come up, Martin, to the residential area, them the ones have some of the violent names.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And guess what? And ain't no projects in them areas.
Yeah. Right about
you
now.
You see what I'm saying?
Right about
Think about
now.
it.
Yeah.
Right about now.
Yeah.
So it's image.
Image.
Low end is the low end. That means family. That means struggle. That means blood, sweat, and tears, borrowing sugar from your neighbor, tearing out food stamps in a book. The low end is a culture. It don't have nothing to do with your standards.
Yeah. Well, you know, they don't want to hear this, man. They want to hear shooting and killing and violence, all negative stats. These are the type of talk shows will set you free, will emancipate your mind, take you to another level. See, they don't want to hear this. They want to see a body land on the ground. They want to hear some
because it's big money, Martin.
Right.
Criminal life is big money. It's big business.
Right.
It's big business. I remember I've been told, you know, you got some morticians that say, hey, why would I get out there in March? That's feeding my family.
Right.
You got the police say, hey, listen, this my job. Catching criminals is big business.
Mm-hmm.
So why do they want change? You feel me? They don't want change.
That's right. Yeah, that's right, brother.
And that's what we have to realize. We got to stop. It's right there, Martin. We can take care of each other.
Mm-hmm.
We can take care of each other. There's no perfect family. There's no perfect nothing.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, brother.
But we can take care of each other.
We got another guest. Hold on. You don't have to hang up.
Okay.
Hey, caller, where you calling from?
There's no perfect nothing.
Caller, where you calling from? I need you to turn your Facebook down. Turn it all the way down. Caller.
This Felice Martin.
All right, you can't call with the Facebook playing now. Hold on.
Well, I gotta turn off Facebook.
Yeah, turn it down. Turn it real low where I can't hear it. You can't watch that and talk to me at the same time because it's gonna be an echo. It's a delay.
Is it off?
Yeah, it's better. Hold on.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right, hold on, my brother. Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to click y'all over.
Okay.
Oh, I'm trying to click. I don't know what's going on here. My sister.
What's going on, Martin?
All right, come on, tell us what's going on. Talk to us.
Your topic is the rap thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when are people, especially Black people, you know, when are we going to accept that, you know, Hollywood, the music industry, it's a whole other level that the average person don't know nothing about. I mean, we get, you know, mixed up in the glitz and the glamour and, you know, the money and this, that, and the other. But, you know, there's a whole nother subversion of that world that we don't know anything about. And, you know, so many of these deaths, it's not random. You know, they compare the rap game to what's going on in the hood, you know, the gun violence and things of that nature. But, you know, a lot of this stuff is sacrifice. You know, it's a whole nother level, you know, and we hear so many people, you know, they get demeaned, they get canceled, who are in the life, who come back later and tell us the things that are going on, and we don't believe it, you know. And when do we wake up and when do we realize that a lot of things that we have been taught, as far as don't read that's demonic, don't stay away from that. And when you teach us not to educate ourselves on different things, we don't know the signs when we see it. Because we've been told, stay away from that. That's evil, that's demonic. But how do we prepare ourselves and arm ourselves against these things if we're constantly being told, stay away from it? So when we see it on television and when we see the signs and the symbols, we can't recognize it because we've been told to stay away from it. You know, these deaths are too weird. They have insurance policies on these rappers. You know, these rappers aren't just being killed by random people in the street. You know, they're being killed by people that they were working for. You know, and when the stars and the rappers and the singers, and when they try to warn us of this, we say they're crazy. because the media says that they're crazy. You know, and it's when do we? Everybody ain't telling the same lie. You know what I'm saying? There's only so many times a person can come on us. Like take Coolio for instance. Coolio, he was out. You know what I'm saying? He did his thing. Coolio come up dead in the same year that he comes and he gets his platform. He started doing those interviews on YouTube saying about all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes that didn't nobody know about. You know, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, Coolio been around for a long time. You know, he don't come up dead until he comes out and he says, he starts telling the secrets. And the sad part about it was Coolio was actually very careful at the things that he said. He kind of spoke in a generalized nature, but he was telling things, you know, in the same year Coolio did. And I'm looking like, nobody finds it strange. You know, at some point we have to recognize, because especially from us, because we go back to the old school. You know what I'm saying? The new generation think rap is new. Rap is not new. Rap go all the way back to the 70s. You know what I'm saying? It followed directly behind. It was right there, neck and neck with the disco era. Yeah, rap got ushered in. Rap was very conscious. It was stay off drugs. You know, don't get in trouble. Do what your parents say. You know, then here come NWA. You know what I'm saying? And we fought because NWA was explicit. You know, we loved the music and it was a good thing, but the lyrics were explicit and they were very disrespectful. And in the 80s, we fought and we were like, no, you can't say that because this group goes on there and says these things, that this is what causes their children to do this. So you should not want to shut them up. But now here we are 40 years later and we're seeing what happened, because once we let the explicit lyrics in and we said it's okay and we got comfortable with it, you know, they took it to a whole nother level because the rappers are not in control. And we've come to find out that a lot of these rappers, they have ghostwriters. They're not even writing these lyrics. How many rappers have we come to find out that they're talking about the hood life and the drug life and I sold this and I went to jail, and we find out that they grew up in the suburbs, parents had good jobs, and they never lived their life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the game is sold, it's not told. So everybody's playing mind games with us, you know, and we're so emotional about it. We're not paying attention to what's real and what's fake. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these, a lot of these rappers, their deaths is not just, oh, they black, they was rappers, they got into it with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Just like the East Coast, West Coast thing, and they got killed. A lot of times that's not even the case, because you got to think about it. Once these rappers, once they reach that level of mainstream, they're not even around like that. So who gunning for them? Who's really gunning for them? They don't. Ain't nobody in the hood looking for them. So how are they just coming up dead like this? They coming up dead like this because it ain't the hood that's killing them.
Well, let me ask you a question.
You know, and then things happen behind the scenes. We don't know who they into it with.
Sister, let me ask you a question.
Dave Chappelle, how many times have he said, you get off into this thing, you think it's one thing, and it turned out to be another, because Hollywood and the music industry, all of it's intertwined together.
And sister,
you know, so you're looking at this thing.
All right, sister, she ain't hearing me talk. I'm trying to cut her in. She just over talking me. I had to cut her off. Listen, I want to ask a question. So do we blame, one of my YouTube listeners said, do we blame the record labels for selling a product, or do we blame the artists for creating songs that promote a negative image of Black people? Do we blame that? That's a question. Again, sister, if you listen to me, she probably
all of that because he's saying things to wake people up. Print.
Sister, you still talking?
Starting back in early 2000s when that stuff was.
She don't even know she's still talking.
You already know what it is.
When he started playing with his name, he went from being Prince to being that simple thing. And years later, when he came out, he was like, it was, you know, they owned the name, so I had to.
Hello, brother. Hello. 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 But anyway.
Hello, she there?
Yeah, she there. She was talking, and I'm trying to cut off.
Yeah, she was talking about Prince.
Yeah. But she was talking good talk, but I was trying to interrupt her. I was trying to interrupt her. She couldn't hear me. She just talking, and you know, she called me back. Here's
the thing about it.
Yeah.
She calling back?
Yeah, she calling back. But I don't know if they even take a caller, brother, because she just kept talking.
Yeah, no, but you can take it. Take it, because I'm gonna tell her something.
Okay, all right, hold on.
That's why I was.
Okay, hey sister, just do me a favor.
No, I can just listen to y'all now because my call got cut off.
No. I cut you off. Because I was trying to interrupt you, and you just kept going and going and going and going and going.
I can't hear you, Martin. All I hear is echoes.
Okay, well, you should have told me. Listen, I was trying to, but you just kept talking, and I'm trying to interrupt and say something. It wasn't that you were saying nothing that I didn't agree with. You were speaking good facts. It's just that
No, it's a conversation. You're supposed to talk. I'm listening.
Right. That's all. So the brother that was on the other line, he wanted to ask you something as well. Hold on. Let me see if I can get him back on. Hey, my brother, you there? Okay, you there. All right, now, what did you want to ask my sister?
I was listening to you. No, what I was saying, my name is Sam, sis.
Okay,
and what I was saying is, what's your name?
Denise.
Denise?
Denise, like phone or Denise.
Okay. Now I'm gonna say this. That also could be on the table. Everything you just said could be on the table. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
So we have to, and that's what I was telling Martin. We can't take nothing off the table because the reality is this. We know that the industry is dirty, right?
Mm.
We know that there's some truth and there's some conspiracy, but we also know too that some of these cats is really out here living that life.
Absolutely.
So everything has to be on the table. And so that's what I'm saying, that like people would just say, oh no, well, Denise, you just talking, you go talking that great. And that's what I was telling Martin. That's what I'm talking about. Everything must be on the table because when I leave out my house, and you know this, Martin, you know this, we watching our backs because we know how things can go. The contractor, that could be somebody doing it, but we do know that's some mischievous kids in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. So it could be both. That's what I'm saying. It could be both. It could be everything. It could be all of that. It could be all of that. But when I was telling Mark, let's just say it is what you're talking about, sis. Let's just say it is what you're talking about. And it ain't going nowhere because no matter what, somebody is going to go to that industry because they want to eat. These kids out here want to eat. These kids out here starving. So guess what? They're going to tiptoe with the devil. They're going to tiptoe with the devil. But now we say, well, how do we teach them to eat? Because let me say this. It's not even just rap industry. We're going to say sports. I see it done all the time. Just say this.
Absolutely.
Florida is a big market of sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Chicago, but I live in Florida. And I heard this. I hear this all the time. Where a lot of the parents or a lot of people tell their kid that's into the sports, in the pros, do not go get involved in nothing that's social. Don't go saying nothing because they do not want it to affect their bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's and that's okay. Guess what? I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I respect that. So we gotta, like, you take what you just said, your truth, my truth, everybody else's truth. But where we go wrong is we quick to throw people's truth off the table.
Absolutely.
Instead of just saying it could be all of that.
Yes, we always say I don't believe that. And how do you not believe it if you didn't research it? And that's the big problem in our community. We don't research.
It's some argument there, but we also gotta say, hey, little bang bang, little whoop whoop, he out here doing what he do. So that's what I'm saying, because guess what? A lot of them that's out here, they ain't in the industry.
Absolutely.
But they got a jealous heart, an envy heart is the worst heart to have.
Yeah. Well, art imitates life and life imitates art. And I think where the trick comes in at, because a lot of people are not aware that everything is psychological. So they play tricks with us. So because we see it in the hood.
Well, we can't, let me say something. And when you say they, I don't even, and I'm going to say this, but that's not even they play tricks with us. We play tricks with ourselves.
I agree. But everyone is always saying, what's the solution? But that's the main question that people say.
Solution.
There is a solution.
What's the solution?
The solution is the parenting.
No, yeah, you're right.
Because
saying,
at the end of the day, if we see, the problem is this: we have too many people. We have the government, we have the school system, we have social media, we have TV, we have radio. There's so many things that our
let
children.
me just say this one thing before Mark can take over. This is your show.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say the parent, check this out, sister. I tell anybody this. A parent, I don't care if you're the best parent in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your child has to eventually leave that house to go to school, to go somewhere, to go to socialize.
Yeah.
So you don't know who can lean over with their tablet or with their cell phone and show your child something. So it ain't always about the parent. You see what I'm saying?
I hear you. That's why I said social media and all these things. We are not monitoring what our children are doing.
Let me tell you something. I had a great mother and father, but I don't blame my mother and father for nothing.
No, I don't either.
I did a lot.
Okay.
I did a lot.
Let me say something, guys. Let me say something real quick. I'm trying to keep the echo down. Now, I want you guys to answer this question. Kenneth Kennard said, I think he's one of my YouTube listeners. He said, so do we blame the record labels for selling a product, or do we blame the artists for creating songs that promote a negative image of Black people? Let me read it again.
Neither.
You said neither?
Yeah.
We can't blame neither. And see, this is what I'm saying. It's just like what Sam said. He said we can't really blame the parents. He said because he said what I was starting to say before. Everyone has access to your child's mind, which means they can influence and persuade. This is why the parenting is so important. You absolutely must monitor what they listen to, monitor what they hear. When I was a kid growing up, my uncle and a woman who was friends with my godmother, I didn't understand it when I was a kid. They were very strict. They picked their kids' friends. And I didn't get it. And I was like, I was poor and come from the hood. Why are you keeping those kids away from people that they grow up with? It wasn't until I got grown that I understood. If you do not choose what your children are exposed to, this is how it happens. So take my daughter, for instance, and I'm in no way trying to say that I'm the perfect parent. I want you guys to understand that, okay? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm sorry. It went dead, and I didn't know if I got cut off.
I'm listening.
My daughter's 16 years old. My daughter does not watch television. My daughter does not listen to gangster rap. My daughter respects all adults. My daughter's not running behind boys. My daughter has natural hair with dreadlocks. I have teachers. I have everybody asking me, what did you do? And you live in the hood. What did you do with this little girl? She plays chess with the Chicago Police Department. What did you do to make her be completely different from all these other kids? The only conclusion I can come up with to you guys is that I took orthodox away from my child. Meaning anything that was socially acceptable by mass society, I removed it from her. I picked her friends. I didn't let her watch Family Guy. She can't watch Two Broke Girls. She can't watch rated R movies. She can't listen to Cardi B. I did all of those things. So when I say I understand that your children are going to go out into the world, but if you are putting, and this is because as Black people, you know, our culture is different from other cultures. We actually understand that the difference between children today versus children yesterday is that we had discipline back in the day. We had that parent that'd tag you. That and people say, well, why would you want your child to fear you? What do you mean? The only way the child will not reach for the stove is if they know what it feels like to be burned. That's how they stop touching the stove. They have to experience a little bit of that fear in order for them to understand it. So what I did with my child was, you got one or two choices. You can either fear me, or you can fear the people out of the street who don't give a damn about you. You take your pick. And it actually worked. But another thing, I had put a post up. We got parents that put money before everything. These people, they're working while their children, they're working at night, while their children are supposed to be asleep. I know so many parents in the hood where they work in second and third shift. Why are you working second and third shift? You don't even know where your child is.
Well, sister, check this out. That's another thing, though. And I just have to stop you on that. I can't touch that. I was a single father. I raised 2 kids. So what I'm saying is, and plus I had kids outside of raising them. So that's just the real deal. But what I'm saying is, we have to feel empathy for anybody. I just stood in food lines. I just stood and tried to get money. And I come from a huge family. My pride wouldn't allow me to ask my family for anything. So we can't, we have to be empathy, because just because it worked for you, don't mean it works for another person. And I have to tell village, but guess what? And I'm glad everybody don't have a village. And when you say a village, we just think about it, Mark. When you say a village, sister, you talking about not just physically, we talking about spiritually. And a lot of people's spirits not even right today. And for whatever reason, drugs, alcohol, that's a whole different thing. So like I was telling Mark, you have to have empathy and you have to step back and look at the big scope. I can't assume that a person's working at night, they're a bad parent.
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you're away from your child, during the time when the night falls, more crime happen if you're not there and that child is on their own.
What? Let me say this. Didn't me and you know some kids that still snuck around their parents worked in the day? When we were growing up?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
No, I'm saying when we were growing up, we knew there was people that had regular 9-to-5s, right, Mark? Parents had regular 9-to-5 back then. We was growing up.
Right.
And their child still snuck around and did what they was going to do, right or wrong.
But if they were supposed to be in school, because when we talk about children, we're talking about underage, correct?
No, but I'm saying still. What I'm saying is still, if a parent telling you, when you get out of school, you come straight home, you got a key around your neck. You have some kids that came straight home, and you have some kids like me that threw snowballs, went and just did whatever. I get put on punishment later.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. As though that I don't we don't know no one's story of why they do what they do, why they gotta work late. I'm just saying me. I tried to be, when I was a single father, I had to really taught me to be empathy when it came to Black women or just women in general raising kids. So I have all sisters. So I had to really mature and look at things through different lenses, because it's not all about what my eyes see.
Absolutely.
And that's what Martin was saying. People feel differently. What me and you think is right, another person might say, hey, no, I don't agree with that. And guess what? I got to respect that. I don't have to agree.
But do you agree that statistics are real?
Huh?
Do you agree that numbers don't lie?
Well, you asked me a question, right?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at common sense. I still got common sense, sis.
There are exceptions to every rule. You could be, like you said, you could be the perfect parent and they still screw up.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying statistics don't lie, but what I'm trying to say, the statistics also show that there's some good kids out here. The statistics also show that. So that's what I'm saying. So whatever your statistics are, I can't argue your statistics. But what I can say is this, though. I know that there's some kids that some parents out here working hard for whatever reason. They, like my sister. My sister raised 5 girls in the city of Chicago, and I take my hat off to her. We took and they all back to back. 3 of them, like 2 in college, 4 rides, and one for to go to college, 4 ride. And I tell my mom and them all the time, I take my hat off to her, and she raised them girls without a man. So I got, and so those are my heroes. I don't look at celebrity. Like Martin, that's somebody who is available. That's a hero to me. I don't idolize rappers. I don't idolize those who I can't touch.
Me neither.
So I to get back on the subject, we're talking like the rappers. Like Martin is saying that there's so many different levels to this why they're dying. That doesn't take your what you're saying off the table.
Right. And it doesn't take what you're saying off the table. It doesn't
take what nobody's saying off the table.
Right.
My teacher told me one day there's no such thing as a dumb answer or a dumb question. Or a question, period. There's no such thing as a dumb question or a dumb answer, period. And so that's what the problem is. If you notice, everybody debate on who's right and who's wrong. Right. I'm not there in them rappers' lives. I'm not around them. But I know one thing, me and Martin, you know what goes on in Chicago. It ain't no different what goes on in LA or Houston.
Correct.
So we use our common sense because it's the same thing. We don't have to be in LA or Houston to know what's going on because it's a worldly thing. But
I agree.
that's what I'm saying. So it's we get it. You don't have to be this. And that's what they say. Well, Martin, you can't talk about that. You ain't a rapper. Yes, he can. You can't talk about that because he can, because his eyes don't lie. You see what you see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a PhD to talk about certain things, but that's what they're going to tell us. You ain't got no degree, so you can't talk about mental health. Wow.
Right. And we're experiencing it. Experience is the best teacher.
Right. Let me ask you guys a question. Now, we are oppressed people. We've been oppressed for 400 years in this country.
Yes, sir.
So how could a person that's never been oppressed in this country tell us how we feel, or we should feel that way, or what we see and all that? We feel a certain way, brother. I'm not saying that they can't understand us, but our oppressor's not trying to understand what we go through. It's all about money.
Well, Martin, I'm gonna tell you this. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. No disrespect to no one, but once again, I can't tell a woman how I feel to have a baby.
Right.
And nobody that ain't black can tell us how I feel to be oppressed.
Absolutely. And I agree with what Sam is saying.
I can never tell a woman how I feel to have a baby. But guess what? They can't tell us. No black woman tell me you got to feel how to be a black man in America, in Chicago.
Absolutely. And I've told a lot of white
that's
people.
Where people draw the line. That's where people draw the line at. Like if Fenice, right? Fenice,
Mm-hmm.
If Fenice telling me and you, Martin, this, and that, man, you got to honor that, because we ain't no woman. We don't understand. But guess what? Somebody would debate this woman.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
If me and you say, listen, man, as a black man, listen, me and you scared to hit the streets, the police get behind us, guess what? Some woman or somebody will come and say, well, man, every police ain't like that. Listen, sister, you can't tell me how I feel to be a black man. Just like I can't tell you how to feel to be a black woman out here. And so can no one outside of my race tell me how I feel to be a black man. That's just how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But Sam, what you're saying is that you're balanced. And see, what you just said is the representation of what I've told white people, because I've met wonderful white people, you know what I'm saying? And they've asked questions that were valid. And I've told them, you can sympathize with what you see black people go through, but you will never know what it feels like to actually go through it. So therefore, you have the right to your opinion. But when black people or minorities, period, they don't validate your opinion, you can't get mad at them because you haven't experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, when I was telling Martin, with that being what me and you and Martin talk about, and all these platforms, then that's what I was telling Martin. When I deal with so many platforms, you know, I don't deal with them if they don't bring the kids involved.
Right.
Because I'm tired of hearing adults talk, to be honest with you.
Right.
I need to know how this kid feels. I need to know what is it that we as adults can do to help you. Because every kid is different. Some kid might just need a hug. Some kid might truly need counseling. Some kid might need for you to just point him in that direction. He might need for you to just say, man, you can do it. But everybody's put in a group. So this is why I say that some of the platforms are just as bad, because they glorify this. They glorify what's going on because they need their numbers. They need their numbers. Mm-hmm. So when I'm looking at Martin, I'm like, man, this brother taking hits. He better than me. I'll be seeing the threats and the people coming at him, and I'm like,
I'll be on his page, and I say the same thing. I say, Mark, you better than me because I trust him out.
But then I also say that's a leader, and leaders don't supposed to be comfortable. Mm-hmm. That's a leader. Right. I'm thankful for it because, and it's a broad subject. It's a really broad subject because, and all I was trying to tell Martin, sister, if you didn't hear it, we have to learn to live in the midst, because when I say there's no, and I'm tired of people saying, well, keep hope alive or hang in there. We've been hearing this before our mothers and fathers got here. Yeah. So at some point we have to come to grips and say it is what it is. So how do we maneuver in this?
But you said it. You said it earlier when you said, I don't deal with the adults. You said, I deal with the children. I think I heard you guys talking before I called in about the 14 people that got shot, right?
Right.
My daughter's school is approximately 1 block from where those 14 people got shot. I'm here on the west side.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy part is that it happened on Halloween. My daughter's 16. I took my 16-year-old, 2 15-year-olds, and a 14-year-old. I drove to Oak Park to take them trick-or-treating. And a lot of people, when they heard that I was taking those ages trick-or-treat, they say, they're too old for that. I said, that's what's wrong right now in our community. They're children. You're treating children like adults. You're not letting them be kids. And when we were coming back from Oak Park, I got pulled over by the narcs. That's another story. But when we came back, it was all blocked off. And I'm like, what's going on? We saw the tape and everything. It wasn't until I got in the house and I saw the story that the people had gotten shot. And my daughter, because I told my daughter years ago, I said, when you're about 13, 14, you're old enough to go trick-or-treat yourself. But there's something I got. Remember, Sam, you was talking about that spiritual. Something hit me when I asked my daughter a week or two before. I said, what are you doing for Halloween? Because I had bought her a mask. And she was like, I don't know yet. She was like, well, at my school, I might ask a couple of kids to go. Who is to say that if I hadn't taken my daughter and her friends out of the hood, that she would have been on that block, 1 block from her school when they opened fire?
Yes. Now let me say this. And now I'm listening to you talk, right? And I was telling Mark, we were allowed to, like I hear Martin with his daughters. I see him on picture with his daughters. So he got that teaching from somewhere. The way we talking, right, we was taught by a village. So you're dealing with a lot of kids in the rap industry, and that's not in the rap industry, that don't even have a village. So they only have pain.
Right.
They have pain. And when you, and like I said, I was 16 years old, coming up on, I seen a lot. I wrote my own obituary when I was 16. I didn't think I was going to live to see 18. When I lived to see 18 and went to Tuskegee, I was shocked. I was shocked because I just didn't see future. Because everybody else, no matter what, sister, you got to realize this, I wasn't even a part of it, but I was a part of it. Because I'm no better than these guys. These are my friends. I grew up with them. Even though we chose a different path, we're just still friends. We're family. So when I'm seeing them leave, when I'm 15, 16, seeing my friends die, I'm like, when am I next? Because guess what? When these kids see innocent people die, these kids say, well, guess what? Little John went to school, Martin. Little John got good grades, Martin. Little John did everything you told this kid to do as a kid, and he still got cut short for a stray bullet.
That's right.
And these kids are scared. And I'm not making no excuse. I'm just saying the reality of it.
Yeah. That's and
that
is
the kids feel that they see a kid that me, you, and Martin said everything. You do this is gonna happen. Then that kid that's in a classroom, Martin, you come to the class for these, and guess what? His seat empty. That shit play with your psyche. But guess what that kid got to do? He got to get up, Martin, because I was that kid. You got to still go to school Monday. You got to still go to school Tuesday. You got to still go to school Wednesday. You got to bury all of this. Because guess what? Wasn't no trauma counselor coming to my school or coming to our schools back then. It just wasn't, to be honest. So it's a bunch of trauma that these kids are going through. And it's like, oh, well, they got to keep pushing. And it builds up. And so, like now, you got the young rappers that's coming up. They seeing this money. And like I tell Martin, before they were rappers, they were somebody. They were somebody. They all had a story to tell. They just that person with money now.
I agree. That's
all I'm saying. They just somebody. We see it done all the time. This person was this, but guess what? He probably hit the lottery. Something happened. He just that person with money.
Yeah.
Which gives him certain opportunities, which put him in a certain circle around certain people, which give him more whatever they want to call it. But he put in more harm's way because you're out there too. We all know don't nothing good happen at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We ain't got that talk.
Yeah.
So that's what certain things is just certain things, and that's what I said. We making it out to be because they're rapper. People making it out to be, Martin, like it's just like a huge. Like it's like something you put on a microscope and dissect it. No, it's right there. It's just no different than just life. But they want to read that. Well, we're going to have a panel to discuss what's going on, and we're going to have to. No, this is what it is. It's just now we have social media.
But all of the people on the panel aren't the people in the hood. These are the other people that are making decisions, and they're trying to tell everybody else what to think. And what you just said, when I said it take a village, and you said, sister, you say everybody don't have a village. But see, this is the problem. And one thing I love about Mark is that he asked a question that people don't want to ask. And the one thing we have to do is, yes, it's racial, it's political, it's social, it's judicial, but when do we, as a people, take responsibility and say, you know what? I'm tired of fighting for you and arguing at you to do right. I'm going to do my part, because the village starts at home. It doesn't start abroad. So you said that you have so many kids that don't have a support system. We have to become a support system.
Well, guess what?
You're saying it ain't my business.
But we gotta start. I'll tell anybody, and this is just the one thing about it with Martin, and I'll say Martin, and I'm gonna say a lot of people. If there's no trust, you have no type of relationship. That's where you start at. No one trusts nobody, because certain people that did so much lying. The politicians that lied, the kids say, well, look at how the grown folks acted. So the kids say, well, man, they not even setting an example, because you see so much division within the grown folks.
Mm-hmm.
So it has, that's what I'm trying to say. The kids is watching. Kids watch. We know that kids see what you do. And so there's no trust. And then we talk about any type of relationship, whether it's money, sexual, rap, whatever. If there's no trust, we can't even have a dialogue.
I agree.
So the community don't trust the police don't trust the community, the church don't trust the community, the people don't trust the church. There's so much division, and the church is gone. So the trust, there's no trust amongst nothing. So that's what I'm saying. If there's no trust, you can't even have a dialogue, because you're already disconnected from the person.
Let me say this too. That's 100% correct. A lot of us don't have a village anymore. I say the village is gone, but the sister got a great point. It starts at home first. Your village is at home. That's your first interaction, well, maybe your second interaction to the world when you're born. With this, you see the doctors and nurses, but when you come home, those are your first peers as a child.
Exactly. And guess what? And Martin, you and the sister got a great point. But like I say, even with that being, we also have to, Mark, what they say, take the good with the bad. We have to also realize there are certain things called rebellious teens.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we can't have one and say, yeah, there's some good parents out here. But then you got that teen where some of these parents then tried. Okay, Martin, y'all can relate to this, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let y'all remember this. Remember when we were coming up, and we would see where this one guy was in the neighborhood, or this guy was in the neighborhood, and he just had a reputation. You just knew this, right? And y'all remember when the old folks used to say, I've been waiting for them to knock on his door, or knock on their door, because they just understood at one point in time he ain't coming home.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear that old lady say, now I can sleep, because at least I know where he's at.
Right.
That's what I mean. This lady and her husband, they probably did the best that they could do, but at some point in time, they know I can't. My human life, sometimes you get tired.
Yeah.
So some of these parents out here are really getting grinded out because they're fighting a spiritual warfare with these kids.
Mm-hmm.
These kids see the image, they see the quick, fast money, they see the instant gratification of the money, of the rap, of all of this, everything. People just throwing money everywhere, pretty cars, and the parent can't compete to that because he's going to work, she's going to work every day, all day. So they fight this certain spirit, but the kids want some kids want instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? So imagine this: if a kid wants that, me and you and all of us know, it's some adults like that.
Yeah.
Instant gratification.
Yeah.
And so now they like, well, mama, well, boy, go and get you a job at McDonald's. McDonald's don't pay no money, mama. I need some money now.
Mm.
You got to crawl before you walk. Those are the sayings that were said to us. These kids, some of them, I don't want to say these, all. I don't want to never say all, but most of them, they don't even understand some of those sayings. Crawl before you walk. What that mean?
Well, let me say something, brother.
They need it now.
Let me say something. I want to add on to something that you said earlier. Our dear sister, she wasn't on the phone at the time. You was talking about the 3 elements: the school, the streets, and home. But I want you to add a 4th element on that: social media. Social media.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. You can add it on that. You're right.
You're right. So
and thank you, Martin. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Passing it on and somebody else run with it.
And that's why my daughter.
Yes.
And that's why my daughter was from social media. And see, this is what I'm talking about. When you're a parent, you have to look at what the enemy is. But I understand what you're saying, Sam, because we got some adults, they don't even realize that it's the enemy to prevent it from happening.
But see, let me tell you what you're teaching your child, though. Let me just tell you this, and I'm gonna say this: you also teaching your child self-discipline, because when you're not around, she's around certain people that's not being raised like she's being raised.
Exactly.
So
and she's like the outcast.
But I'm saying that's what self-discipline comes in at. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. You're teaching her to be self-reliant and have a mind of her own.
Exactly.
And
don't let nobody take for you.
But guess what? Once again, everybody ain't getting that. So we also have to teach our world, our kids, to say, hey, everybody don't think like you. Everybody ain't raised like you. So you have to be able to adjust to what's around you. You have to be able to, just because you adjust don't mean you agree. You just know how to move.
Exactly. And my daughter is a chameleon. She can be in any crowd.
You hit it on the head. Because that little 3 thing I had, Martin, that was about 15 years ago before social media got popular. Mm-hmm. So thank you for adding on.
No problem,
So you exactly, because social media, you can't even compete with it. You can't compete, because guess what? While we sleep, Denise and Martin, that kid is up watching them videos.
Yep.
Watching that money get thrown in the air. Watching that. So social media, that's a drug itself.
Yeah. Yeah. But let me ask you fellas a question. Can I ask you fellas a question?
Go ahead, my sister.
Because this is a debate that I've been having with a lot of people. And one thing we do in our race is we have this, that's not my business mentality. There's a saying. It says that a community is only as important or only as successful as the respect that it has for its women. Right? Like the shooting, all that type of stuff. There's certain neighborhoods you're not going to see that in because they see big mama sitting on their porch. And they see, their mother walking with a stroller, and they're not going to do that. When do we as a people, when do we get tired enough? Because, you got the ceasefire, and I'm not saying that those things are bad. That's not what I'm saying. But there's one thing to go to a march and for it to be on the news, and this is the day that we're going to go, and we're going to get our message out there, and we're going to, let everyone know that we're tired of this. And then when you go home, for the next 2 years, it's the same thing. When do we as a people stop being pumped and call things out when they happen? Because everyone is on this thing, well, I'm not going to get shot because I'm talking to somebody else's kid.
Well,
it's not just about talking. It's not just about talking to nobody else's kid. If you want a home and that kid is standing in front of your house, bringing down your property value.
That's what though, sister. Martin doing that. That's what Martin doing.
Sister, hold on.
Calling it out.
I'm calling this.
But we don't have enough.
Hold on, sister. Hold on. Let me just say this. Trust me. You don't have to have a lot of numbers to make things happen.
Yes.
It's just one crime chaser on me. I'm just saying one crime myself. I'm not working with a group organization of people and all that. And I do more than the organization, than the whole organization of 20, 30 people. So my main motivation is not money. My motivation is servanthood. I think race first. What can I do to help my people? Not just my individual family, my 4 daughters and 1 son. I'm thinking a group as a group. And that's a lot of us as Black people, we don't think as group. And like the brother said earlier today, when these young people go out here and shoot and kill somebody, you are affecting a lot of people, not just one person.
Yeah.
You're affecting a lot of people. A lot of people.
Right.
So my point.
But Phineas, you also know everybody can't go where you're going. Martin is a leader.
No, I get that.
So what I'm saying, So no. So what I'm saying is, and I'm just asking a question because you asked you said, Mark. When leaders got to be the first one there, leaders got to be the last one there. Leaders got to be there even when they don't want to be there. So everybody's not built for that cloth. Like Mark said, he'd rather have one Martin than 30 whatever anyway, because somebody ain't going to be on the page of what he's trying to do. So
my question is, when do we throw out the trash? Because what you guys just said, there's going to be people that's about the progress.
Well, to be honest with you,
there's people about the crime. We have to leave them alone. We can't keep embracing them.
But see, here's what I'm going to tell you. And you asked me for my opinion. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have eyes in the back of my head, so I don't worry about none of that. I just stay on the mission. I stay on the vision, be honest with you. Because if I'm constantly looking in the back.
The leaders, Sam, you don't believe the leaders have to come together?
No, it's not always like that. We're talking about the reality now.
Brother Sam, bro, let me say this. I'm going to go back to what you said earlier in the broadcast. You said, Martin, we have to face reality. Killing is always going to be here. It's just not going to stop.
That's right.
Rappers going to kill rappers. Some situations that you see us talking about black folks that we're in is going to always exist. We can't get it. We have to learn how to work around it, manipulate it. We're going to have to, because it's not going anywhere. The brother said he has oppression. It's not going anywhere. He had to learn how to deal with it.
Depression ain't going nowhere, sister. So I had to learn how to move around it and fight within it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I use myself as I'm constructive criticism myself all the time. That way I don't want to talk about nobody else's shortcomings. And like I was telling Martin, I have to learn how to live in the midst. You know how sometimes we all just face death of a family member, of a friend, or somebody, right? That pain, and they say time heals everything. That's a lie.
Definitely a lie.
That's what I'm saying. We just learn how to move
every day. That's
exactly.
Right.
And that's what we're saying. We just learn how to maneuver around.
But the pain don't leave.
That's it. That's
yeah.
it. Yeah, you feel me? That's
absolutely.
It. So that's all right. That's all I'm saying. So now, like I said, we study saying, what's the solution? What's the solution? What's the solution? Man, we've been talking about what's the solution since I was 40, since I was born. You know what I'm saying?
Sam, that's my point. Everybody wants to know what the solution is, but when it comes time to take it to the street, to put the pedal to the metal, then everybody's saying that's not my business, and that is a big thing I see in the black community. We keep saying it's not my business, and everybody keeps saying it ain't my business. It's never gonna change. It's gotta be somebody's business.
Well, let me just say this, sister. Everybody want to eat steak, but somebody got to cut the cow. Listen, you got generals.
Right.
I sit at the table with generals and I tell soldiers what to do. So if no disrespect to those out there, listen, generals, they lay out plans and blueprints and things like that. Some people are not qualified to hit these streets and talk. They just not, they ain't cut out for it. They can't do it. And I understand what you're saying. We have to emancipate our thinking. We have to change our thinking, sister, because a lot of us think this is normal. They think, okay, rappers get shot all the time, which is true. The neighborhoods, trash everywhere. That's normal. That's not normal. These are things that are not normal.
It's not normal.
Once we get these things out of our mind, white people at the top and black people at the bottom, we have to get that mentality, that thinking out of our mind. You know, we working for white people all the time. We have to get that out of our mind. This is the minds. We have to change our mindset, sister. We don't know. We don't listen. Les Brown said, when you don't know that you don't know, you're in a bad situation.
Absolutely.
Listen, we know how to dance. We know how to play ball. We know how to fight. We know how to cuss. We know how to do a lot of things. But when can we come together and do something major and constructive? See, now we do come together. Now, don't ever say black people can't come together, because we come together for BS. Listen, like the brother said, we can get together on low-end picnics and family reunions and all that. We can get together on gang banging and lecture sliding and carjacking. You got the Kill Boys. You got the carjackers. Those are groups. They're getting together. Now, it may not be for positive, but those are groups. We know how to get together. Absolutely. So don't let nobody tell you we don't stick together. We stick together for BS. That's what we stick together for. We know how to get together. A bunch of men. Go ahead, brother Sam.
I don't want no one to think, man, like, oh man, I'm giving up hope. That's never what I'm doing. I'm just learning how to strategize now. You have to learn how to strategize because if this ain't working, you can't keep knocking your head on the lid. You eventually got to go around. If I'm at the front door, you know what somebody gonna tell me? Well, go Martin. Martin gonna tell me, Sammy, go see if the back door open. Go see if the back door. If me and you keep putting our shoulders to the front door, hurting our shoulders, throwing our shoulders out of socket, and saying, "Oh man, we should have just went through the back door." Or sometimes, "Hey, oh man, see if a window open." That's all I'm trying to say. And we have to practice every option on the table.
Yes.
And that's what because people keep sitting back waiting for it to change and for the killer to just stop. That ain't gonna happen because it's too much bloodshed.
Exactly.
So now,
that right. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
so
sis.
now we have to say, okay, this is where we at in life. Like Martin say, if he'll bleed it by itself, we got to change each child mindset one by one. Let them know jail shouldn't be an option. Dying early shouldn't be an option. We have to put that in their head. We have to tell them, you are loved, son. You are cared about. Somebody love you. These are the things that we have to tell these babies because some of them don't feel love.
They don't feel love.
And that's the thing. We have to go with the youth. And that's the solution. And that's the point I was trying to get to. We have to go to the youth.
Before my little brother passed, my brother took me elevated my game about 2 years ago. Before he passed, he told me, he said, "Sammy," I said, "What's up, bro? If you start listening, a person will tell you their intentions."
Mm-hmm.
We have to listen. Everything ain't a debate.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Everything ain't a debate. You learn from everybody. That's why I live to see 48, because I knew when to be quiet. I knew when to listen. Even if I didn't agree, I had to listen. I tell somebody, you can learn from everybody. You can even learn from a fool what not to do.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean with Martin. When I said we have to look through life through different lenses, man, when some of us start doing that, I'm not saying all, but when some of us start doing that, they understand that it ain't always going to be my way. It ain't always going to be her way, your way, their way.
Right.
And guess what? I don't have to agree with you, but I can understand.
Say it, brother.
Absolutely.
So that's where we at, because this the reality. And people say, "Oh man, you negative." No, I'm looking at it. This is what it is. Because like it could go what you said, sister. It's not that you go back. I want to piggyback off you. It could be a lot of this conspiracy going, some of it out here. Something's going on. And like Martin, I heard you say it one time. Well, was it like who's really doing all these jobs when the city was just getting hit by drive-bys like crazy?
Right.
And people saying, it's some of these guys with these white masks on. You feel me? Black masks on. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It was some people actually caught wearing black masks, some white people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But there wasn't all of them.
There's nothing off the table.
Nothing.
Exactly.
And that's where we go wrong at. Somebody think, Martin, you talking crazy. No, everything's still on the table. But they want to throw smoke bombs and grenades in it to dismantle when you start getting to the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. But Martin said something too. And I think as a race, when he said that you cannot expect different results doing the same thing.
That's right.
And this is a big problem in our race. We're still doing the same thing, and we have to maneuver differently. And we have to be willing to learn from each other. And this is what I was
let
saying.
it talk, Brother Sam. Brother Sam, let it talk. Go ahead, Go ahead, sister.
Like they attacked me when the stuff with George Floyd happened. And it was people who found out about it. But y'all remember when the stuff happened with George Floyd, the children, it was during COVID, and the children were going to school online. When the situation happened with George Floyd, my daughter was in the living room, and I'm in the living room, and I can hear what her and her teachers are talking about. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they wanted to discuss George Floyd. The third day, I couldn't take no more. And I told them, I said, her teacher, I said, "Would you please call me on your next break?" And he called me, and I said, "My daughter is not allowed to talk about George Floyd anymore." And he said, "I can respect her. We'll give her something else." He said, "But Ms. Connor, can I ask you why?" I said, "The reason why is this. Piggyback on what we said about if you want different results, you have to do different things." I said, racism is real and it does exist. But if you plant in a child's mind from the time they are little that their success relies on whether a white man will allow them to be successful, you've already killed that child's hope. Now, you talked about George Floyd and what happened, this, that, and the other. But there's a difference between discussing what happened and then programming a kid to think that every time they come in contact with a cop, they're going to be murdered. See, that in itself is psychological trauma. You're programming and you're scaring these kids into thinking that anytime they come into contact with anybody in law enforcement, that they're going to be killed. This means that they are automatically going to be on the defense as soon as they come in contact with that. Now, when people heard about that, you will sell out. Why we, they kill us. Yeah, we've been killed by the police unjustly. And there are millions of us that came in contact with the police and didn't get killed. So just like what you said, Sam, what one story is not the other story. But if we program these children to think that the color of their skin is an automatic sale,
but here's what I'll say. So, with my experiences, that's what scared me with the police. And I'm not talking about white police. I'm talking about black police. When I was growing up,
sometimes they worse than the white ones.
That's what I'm going to say. So with my experiences, man, my mother tell you, 13, growing up in low end, they used to come down there and treat us like crap. Their own people. And these wasn't white police. Well, it was some white police down there, some of them, but a lot of the black police was just as bad. So once again, as a black man, young black boy, growing up, we have to let them know. And like this, I'll say this. My mother told me about Emmett Till when I was young, because my mother was from Mississippi. And like now, 2022, it's repeat. It has. I looked at my mom, Martin, Fenice. It has opened up some kind of wound for my mom. Like some years later, you feel me? Because she like, I don't want to see the movie. I was there. I was in Mississippi when it happened. She telling me, but I remember her telling me as a kid about this, to educate me about what was going on in Mississippi. She was from Clarksville, Mississippi. So she said that wasn't too far from where it happened to him at, and she ended up moving to Chicago. And so with that being said, that history has to be taught. History has to be taught. And also, like you say, you also do it at home. But I just feel so much empathy for all our kids, the ones that's dying young, the black rap, because there's no coming back from that, man. Absolutely. I don't know what's going on. All I know the end result is, Martin, is they not coming back.
Well, let me just say,
I don't know who did it.
Right.
I don't know why they did it. I don't know how they did it.
Right.
All I know is this young man is never, or this young woman is never, ever going to exist physically again.
Let me just say this,
and
my
so
brother Sammy, let me just say this, why it's on my mind. I understand that we're living in a real world, and we can't, when we educate our children, we have to educate them with the truth. This is what's going on out here. If you have unprotected sex, it's a possibility that you can get STD, you can get a fatal disease, HIV, AIDS. We have to tell our children, when you come in contact with the police, regardless if they're white or black, this can happen. Now, how rare do it happen? We understand it don't happen a lot, but it does happen. You have to prepare yourself.
No more. Not just cameras. No more.
But
not just cameras.
But it's still happening, brother, with the cameras. We got a situation right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's changing. But say I'm saying it is changing.
Yeah, hold on. We got a situation right now in Mississippi that a 15-year-old got shot by a white police officer. Now, according to, I wasn't there, according to the people, that the young man did not have a gun. All right, now, for the police said he turned around and pointed a weapon. Now, all the public did was ask the man's family, the young man's family, well, if he pointed a gun and he had a gun, show us on your body cam. Right now, we're still waiting on the police department in Mississippi to release the body camera. So what is it? If the man had a gun, according to the police accountability, that he had a gun, and that's why we use legal deadly force on him, show us the video. That's all you have to do.
That would
That's it.
eliminate
Because guess what?
tensions.
If he would have had one, he would have showed that on back.
They
If he would
showed
have had
it
one,
for the
they
same
would
day.
showed the same day.
Right. So that's
Absolutely.
that's my point. My point is we don't want to teach our children every time they see a police officer be afraid. We don't want to teach that mentality because
Right.
the older
Exactly.
you get, the more you appreciate the police. Because see, if it wasn't for the
Yes.
police, a lot of people out here probably would be dead. I probably would have shot and killed them.
Yes.
You know, let me
yeah.
call the police on this
Yeah.
Negro to keep me from doing something to
Yeah.
him. You know, seriously, handle this before I handle it. And that's what the problem that we're having right now amongst our youth. Our crimes are not being solved as fast enough. And so what you have is what you call street justice, retaliation. That's what's going on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because listen, if this guy is still walking around here and shot and killed my mama and the police not doing that, we don't have enough evidence. Come on, man, you're going to go to street justice. That's just
It's a mixture. It's a mixture
Yeah.
of everything.
Yeah, it's a mixture.
It's a mixture.
Absolutely.
That's it. So I understand. So any young, let me just say,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna let you guys
Absolutely.
talk. Any young person that listen to this, if you come in encounter with the police, there is a possibility that you can lose your life from a regular routine stop, a traffic stop. But my thing is, I'm not saying every time you come in contact with the police, somebody's gonna get killed. They kill a black. That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true, and I'm not gonna
Right.
put that out there. But I'm just saying,
That's
be
right.
cautious. Move fragilely. Move. You know, try to
Yes.
have less
Yeah.
conversation as
But
possible.
the truth,
Go ahead.
but the reality is, Martin, the reality is, because I don't ever want to be the negative person,
Right.
but the reality is this. I have some great police friends on my Facebook. They family. So
Yes.
it ain't all. But what I can say is this, the reality is this, Martin,
Mhm.
is that when they pull over, you don't know that officer's mindset.
Yes, sir.
That's
I agree
what's
with that.
scary.
That's scary.
That's
I
what's
agree.
scary.
I agree.
I know, and you've been there, Martin.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, you just said they pulled you over,
Yeah.
baby. When they pull you over, you don't know if they had a bad day. You don't know you just don't know. So
You
that's
don't.
and what's the worst feeling in the world, y'all? The unknown.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But and,
So
and
that's
it's
all
funny
I'm
we brought
saying.
this-
When you suffer from anxiety, then guess what, Martin? Me and you, we know what not to do. Yes, sir. No,
Yeah.
sir. I got my hands up.
Mhm.
But imagine a kid, his first time getting lighted. He panicked. You feel me?
Oh,
And-
wait.
and he-
Oh,
and he-
Sam,
and he-
That's
and he-
what
and he-
happened in the car with me, with those children. I had a boy in the front, 15, my 16-year-old, a 15, and a 14-year-old in the back. And when they pulled me over, it was enough. And I didn't know that until they walked up. But I see the lights flash, and I say, "Uh-oh, I'm getting pulled over." I pull over to the right. This 16-year-old boy, because he lived that street life, he had his hands up before they walked. I looked at him. I say, "What are you doing?" He say, "I got my hands up." I say, "See that right there?" I say, "Put your hands down." I say, "You're already in criminal mode." I said, "You have to
But
understand how they think."
sister, it's a
No,
reaction,
I
though.
get it.
It's a reaction.
Exactly. I get it. But I wanted to show him something different.
But no, but see,
I
here's
say,
what I'm trying
put
to say.
your hands down.
Now, that's the only thing I disagree with you with, sister. This is what I'm
What's
trying to
that?
tell you. Because you want to show him something different, right? You're
Mhm.
not going to always be with him. So
I get that.
that's what I'm telling you. That's a survival mechanism. Like when my nephews, Martin, when I see them, when they pull up on me, right? They got their seatbelt off. I say, "Listen, dude, put a shirt on for one. For two,
Mhm.
put your seatbelt on. Because once they
Yeah.
see you ain't got no seatbelt, that's probable
That's
cause.
probable
to stop you."
cause.
So
Probable
I'm
cause.
telling my nephew, turn the music down. You know, it's because listen, man, don't give them nothing. Don't give them nothing. Because if they want to pull you over, they can pull you over for anything.
But you're
But
making
if
my
you give
point,
them
Sam.
so I was saying when he put his hands up, that was because I've heard that before, and I've seen that being taught in the police class down here. You feel me? Have your hands visible.
And visible, having your hands visible, Sam, and having your hands up in I'm a criminal mode, two totally different things.
No, let me tell you something. No, listen, see, what I'm trying to say is no. Listen to what I'm trying to say. It's easy for us to say what to do until it's action. That was a reaction. You feel me? That's a
Exactly.
reaction. So what I'm saying is, when he put his hands up, this is what they've been teaching some of in some of these what you want to call it, Martin, proactive, what to do.
Yeah.
In case that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is he's not gonna always, and I'm talking from as a man that has sons and nephews, you feel me? And it don't even gotta be nephews. It could be we see with Sandra Bland, she was a woman, a black woman, you feel me?
Absolutely.
So when he put his hands up, it was a reaction, something that he probably was taught. But what I'm saying, when you say put your hands down, and like I say, you probably just saying put your hands down, it's a criminal mode. And some things too, it's also a mechanism, it's a safe mechanism, because my hands be on the dashboard or my hands
was on the
out
steering
window.
wheel.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Let me.
my hands were on the steering wheel. So
Yeah.
just like you said,
Hold on. Let me just say something. Let me just say this. I understand what the brother's saying. Listen, sister, whatever works. First of all, you're dealing with a 400-year-old enemy. Okay. Now,
right.
That's
Exactly.
Keep that in mind. Keep that in
captive.
mind. Keep that in mind. And keep this in mind. If you got an enemy, a natural born enemy, do you think your enemy is going to treat you fairly? No. So you have to do what you have to do. That's all I'm saying. You have to have that mindset, because even though the young man and criminal, you're already a criminal. In the court system, they say you're innocent until proven guilty. That's not what our complexion. We're guilty until we're proven innocent. Right. So I'm just saying, I understand what you're saying, but you are.
No. I get exactly what you guys, but I never said him putting his hands up was wrong.
No.
I said that I told him, I'm going to show you something different. That's what I told him. I know that was a conversation me and him had. When I pulled over, he put his hands up. I said, what are you doing? I said, you're in criminal mode. I said, put your hands down. He put his hands down. When they walked to the car, like I said, I didn't know who they were. I just knew that they were police. So when they came up to the window, can I finish? When they came up to the window and I saw their vest and all that, I said, oh, this is nuts. So he looked in when I had a hoodie on. When I pulled my hoodie off, he say, oh, ma'am. He say, there's no problem. He say, the only thing was, he said, I saw a car of kids. He say, and they were being rowdy in the back seat. He said, I saw arms and stuff waving. He say, so we were just trying to see what was going on. You guys know. I'm 44. I already know the situation. I said, no, it's cool, officer, whatever. I said, I just brought him from Oak Park trick-or-treating. And he saw the bag in the 15-year-old boy's lap. And there was a black officer in the front talking to me, and a white officer was in the back talking and was standing about a girl. And he said, y'all got all that? I said, yeah, we got candy. Would you like some? And he said, hell yeah. I gave him the candy. He said, y'all have a good night. We have a good night. Those children, not my daughter, because my daughter's used to it, but the other 3 children, him and the little girl in the back said, all the times that I've been in a police car, I've never had an experience like that. And I told them, I said, listen, because you said it. Remember what you said earlier, Martin? You said that when you're approached, you said, be fragile. So I'm knowing we're dealing with cops. So what I'm showing them is that it's not always a defense where, because I done seen people get pulled over by the police, like to pull me over before they get the calls, they get the cussing and stuff. If you know that these people are authoritarians and you know they have a big ego, why would your first response be to cuss them out? Now, I know for a fact, they had no probable cause to pull me over. I know they had no probable cause to pull me over.
So
there was no infraction. There was no violation.
But was that right?
I could have went off.
But was that right?
What was what right?
Because they didn't have right. See,
they were completely wrong.
Okay, that's what I'm saying is, so when somebody wrong, that don't mean necessarily your reaction got to be, oh, well, you don't have to be that. Like me, I ask him in a minute, when you pull me over, what did I do? As a citizen, I need to know what did I do. That's nothing wrong with that. I understand what you're saying, and there's nothing wrong with.
Now, just to go back on what you said, sister, and I just need for you to hear me on this. Like you said, you keep saying criminal mode, right? You keep saying criminal mode, right?
No, I told him, I said, you look like you in criminal mode.
You look like criminal mode. Now,
I said, you look like you in criminal mode.
And to me, that's survival mode.
I can agree with that.
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's what me and Martin saying. And just and I'm saying,
that.
as a mother, as a woman, you see criminal mode. As a black man, I see survival mode. That's what I'm saying. I see, let me not give him no reason to let him know, because eventually in my head, he will already say, let me see your hands. My hands is already up. So that's what I'm saying. It's a survival mode. So I'm not saying that.
But no, go ahead.
No, go ahead, sister.
No, as me knowing, just like what Mark just said, I said I knew he had no probable cause to pull me over. I could have been that person, put the camera on and started recording. But remember, you just said it. You're in mother mode. I have children in the car with me. This can go one or two ways. Because just like what you guys said earlier, even with all of the laws, cops break the law every day. I got 4 kids in the car with me. I got to pick and choose my battle. I know he ain't got no probable cause to pull me over. But is this going to be the night? And I'm finna lose it, and I'm finna risk these, and I'm finna risk these kids' life.
No,
But Martin just told you. Go ahead. But Martin just told you. Remember what you said, sister?
Listen, sister.
You said he automatically had in his head that these kids probably joyriding or had something until you pulled the hood off and his demeanor changed, his aggression changed. But before you did that, he was already locked.
Full of kids.
That's what Martin is saying. So that's what we're saying. The only reason why he changed his demeanor, because he saw you pull your hood off. But believe you me, when he was in pursuit, he thought he had a group of black kids.
Yeah,
so that's what we're saying.
And then I don't find out until 5 minutes later that all them people got shot up. So, and I'm on the west side. So the police, they already on the ground, but I didn't know that until I got there. Right. So that's why I said, I'm not saying that boy's reaction was wrong. I said, let me show you something different. Because when you're used to being in a car, like I said, I'm not saying him putting his hands over wrong. I say, let me show you something different. Because when you're used to the interaction being completely negative, I started the interaction on a positive note. So, and sometimes a lot of cops, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. And some people say, well, yeah, it's because you're a woman. But like with Sandra Bland, she was a woman. It's a lot of women get beat up and abused by cops. I can probably agree that it's more black men than black women, but as a race, we're all a target. I've never been pulled over except for that day. I've never been pulled over without probable cause. Usually when the police pull me over, it is because my lights wasn't on or because I ran a sign. I've never just been pulled over. They also always tell me when they approach what they're pulling me over for. So, but just like what you said earlier, Sam, my experience with the police, I ran into jerk cops, I'm excusing my French. So it's not like I don't know that these people don't exist. But if I know that that's the world I'm living in, and I know they got a chip on their shoulder, I'm going to try my best. At the end of the day, before you even approach me, I'm already thinking de-escalation. Now, if you're just that person that just nothing I say, you're going to turn into something, then yeah, we can do this. But if I can come into it with some respect and in a nice way, I'm going to do that. And that's what my point is that we see that narrative so much. We see the same narrative.
Well, we
see angry cop, angry person.
But it is like that. I mean, that's true, sister. I mean, you got to remember. Listen, I'll be angry too if somebody pulled me over without proper cause. I'm upset. Yeah. Why are you stopping me? I'm lights work, everything that's what you call aggravation. Those are tactics, sister. But you passed the test. Mm-hmm. You passed the test. But you got every right. You can cuss the police out. Did you know that?
Absolutely.
You could. That's freedom of speech. It's called freedom of speech. Now I ain't say you can threaten the police. I could have told him to kiss my ass and why you pulled me over. Listen, I ain't say you could threaten. Now I'm gonna kill you. Now that's a different story. Now you tell the police you'll kill him. Now you on a different plane. Now your freedom of speech is thrown out the window. Now I ain't saying be no fool. Now, but you have that right as a citizen. And I asked them, say, officer, may I ask you a question?
And guess what? And Mark, me, I ain't gonna even lie to you. I don't even go that far because I'm nervous. Mm-hmm. So I'm talking about at the age of 48. I don't even want to say anything to make us. Guess what? Because here's what they do too. Hey, take the bass out your voice. You like, sir, I'm just asking the question. Hey, listen, what's
you're being hostile.
I don't, Martin, I'm telling you how, like I say, my mechanism. You feel me?
Well,
I just comply.
Let me just say this to you, brother. Let me just say it to you. A traffic stop.
I'll cuss the police out plenty of times.
A traffic stop.
Man, I'm for real.
Hold on, brother. Let me speak now. A traffic stop or whatever they stop you can always end in tragic. And what you're doing, everything correct, is been proven. So my point is, your best defense, if you got to go down, you better have that camera rolling, record. So when they pull me over, brother, I'm just telling you. Hold on, brother. I'm telling you.
No, Martin, I'm not saying
you let me
wrong.
talk.
Let
me talk, brother.
Go ahead.
Let me talk. Now, I sit here patiently and listen to you guys.
Yeah.
Let me talk. Right or wrong, I don't care if you got a kilo sitting on the front seat of the car, pistol. You better have that camera rolling. You got to. That's your protection. That's your right. You can record.
Right.
You ain't got to put the camera in his face, but you can record it. You can sit it on your dashboard. Most of the time they'll tell you, you're being recorded. That's also, officer, I'm recording too as well for my safety.
Right.
That's for your safety, brother. Use whatever tool that you got to use, brother. Listen, brother, don't give your life away on a platter. Trust me. If you got to die going on live being recorded. That's the mindset you gotta have.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying, brother. You ain't got to get smart. Now listen, there's not a crime of you recording. That's not a crime. You record the whole conversation. If you don't want to put it in the face, that's cool. Put it on dashboard and record while your hands on the steering wheel. I'm recording. Like when they pulled me over the last time, I had the phone in my lap. My hands on the steering wheel, but the phone was in my lap. So I was recording. I didn't get smart and nothing like that. Record, because you don't know how, like you said today, you don't know what mindset that they in today. So that's your defense, man. That camera is your protection, brother. Use your tool. That's a tool. That camera.
Right.
It's a tool.
And I'm glad you put it to me like that. That's why I was being honest with you.
Yeah.
And I was being honest with you and her to tell you straight up.
Yeah.
I just don't even move, man.
No, but
I don't like.
Just listen, brother. That's your tool. That's your defense. They'll tell you the video camera. This conversation is being recorded for my protection. Okay, here's mine. So mine's on too for my protection as well. You know, so that's all I'm saying, bro. That's nothing wrong with. That's not a crime. Not getting smart or slick. You're protecting yourself because if something go down, you have audio or video, or you have both. If something go down, because it can go down, brother. Trust me, it can go down.
It
can. So thank God.
And so I'm like I say, she say, and that's what I'm trying to do: de-escalate before we even get started.
You're right.
Exactly.
You're right. But you know what? If you got a booty hole out there,
it's gonna get escalated.
They want
no matter
trouble,
what you do.
They want trouble. They want to escalate it, man. They know what can push a black person, but all you gotta do is act tough toward a black or a mean mug, stare him in the eye, or call him the N-word. The black person gonna explode if he ain't got self-control. See, you can call me a Negro, but I'm gonna sit there and look at you like you're crazy.
I don't care.
Black. I don't care.
Exactly.
You can call me one. You can call me all the time. Y'all see it on social media.
So Martin, let me ask you the question, and this your thing. Now, as far as you, now you heard me and her talk, right?
Right.
What do you think the strategy should be with? I didn't say but remember we didn't say the cure. We didn't say the solution. What do you think the strategy should be towards the rap music, the violence? What would your approach be?
Well, brother,
if you had a chance to sit in the room with them, what would your approach be?
Well, let me just say that. Only thing I disagree with you with, in order to be a problem, the opposite of a problem is solution. The opposite of right is wrong, vice versa, day and night. So there is solutions. Now, you may not seek one, you may not believe that there is a solution, but there's a solution. And I might not have that solution. My dear sister might not have that solution. You might not have it, but there is a solution to everything. But if I had to sit down and talk to some young men in front of me, and I would ask them, first thing I would know, I would get into their mindset, their psyche. That's the first thing I would do. Why you think like this? Why? I just want to know. And I just let them be them. Tell me why you think like this.
What is it so impressive that you want to kill another man, or did you want to make this type of music? What is it that drives you to do this? See, I'm thinking about getting to the root. I would ask them, because see, so many times, and you guys have said it, you have the so-called quote professionals sitting on a panel telling folks what they should be doing or how it should be doing. So my thing, I will go straight to the source. Ask them, what is it? Why is it that you all killing each other? Why is it that you call each other ops? Why is it that you make this type of music? You don't see the rock groups going against each other. You don't see it. Only in the black music you see that going against each other. You got different rock, metal, heavy metal groups. They don't go against each other like that. The country and western, they don't do things that. It's only in our culture that we do it. Even with basketball, they pin if Michael Jordan the GOAT or LeBron the GOAT. Why can't they both be the GOAT? Why can't they both just be great? Why we got to compare them? They don't do that in golf. They don't do it in tennis. They don't do it in track. So why is it always got to be a competition thing with two great athletes? Why can't they both be great? So my point is, I asked a brother, I said, brother, can you make music without talking about killing your brother? And I know a lot of us, we don't want to hear no positive music because it don't sell. We attracted to negativity. It's something about negativity that just shakes our soul. We like to see a fight in social media. We like to, I may have, like now, I got a talk show. I don't have 100 people on here. But let me be at a crime scene right now. I might have 400, 500, 600. It depends on what crime scene. That's what they want to see. They like BS. They major in negativity. Now, here's the thing that we're talking about. We're dissecting the problem. We're looking at strategies. We're looking at solutions. They don't want that. Some people in our race that look like you and I, they want to continue in this mayhem, in this madness. They don't want it to change. They don't want change, brother. And like the sister said, we got to, if they don't want to roll with us, we got to roll right over them. We got to give them to the wolves.
We got to trash.
We got to trash them, brother. We don't need.
That's what we as a black people don't do. We don't throw out our trash.
Right. We got to because, listen, if this particular trash is going to mess up the whole batch, we got to get it out. We got to get rid of it. And so my point is, we have to talk to these young brothers, not at them. We have to talk to them with the right tone.
Right,
hey, brother, why you got your pants hanging? You think that's cool? Is that the new fashion? You have to. It's a way you have to approach them. They are human beings. Approaches every brother. Listen, I walk through thieves and killers all the time. I got killers taking pictures with me. They done probably got 3 or 4 bodies. You don't know that. I don't know that. But they respect the work that I do. That's all, because I approach them in that matter. You know, I'm not with all that bull, man. I hate to see a black man lay down on the ground, but I understand it. Go ahead, brother.
And I don't know if you remember him, but that's what I was saying. Like 2010, 2009, 2008, I used to work with Philip Jackson. You remember Philip Jackson, Black Star Project?
Okay. I don't. But
Peace in the Hood. It was called Peace in the Hood.
Okay.
Well, God bless his soul, he's passed on. And I was just looking like that's when we used to be, like Fanice said, we used to actually be marching in the neighborhoods. If it was a hot area, it was a hot area. If there was a shooting that day or that night, we'd get up the next day, about 30 guys, 40, 50, we'd meet at a certain place. We would actually go and march in those neighborhoods. And like now, I get it. Hey, Mark, the job is dangerous. What you're doing is dangerous. I take my head off.
Yeah.
But I also understand why people don't want to get involved because they're fearing for their life today.
Brother, hold on.
So I take my head off to you.
Let me just say that. It ain't even about me, brother. I'm a servant. That's what I'm here to do. Let me just say something. This happened like 4 or 5 years ago. I think we was out west somewhere. We was marching. Somebody got killed or something. And it was a bunch, I think they was unknown vice lords. They had all black on. One of their buddies that just got killed or something. And everybody was standing. I walked right over to the crowd. It had to be about 20 of them. I said, hey, brothers. And just that tone of voice, I had to get aggressive with them. I said, brother, we mean no harm. We just out here. We just trying to help the community. That's all.
And them brothers respect us.
Right.
They open up their circle. You know what I'm saying? They respect us. We can't
Yeah.
write. They people, they can have names. They have parents and relatives and things like that. It's just our pro, brother. Listen, I see organizations,
Yeah.
and I ain't gonna mention no name, walking up down the street, you know, talking about they protect and all that, but they never interact with the bangers. You got to interact with
Exactly.
these guys.
Mhm.
You got to
Gotta
listen,
interact,
brother.
man.
Listen. Sometime when I'm out in the street, man, I don't know these people, man. Hey, Martin, I'll speak and shake their hand, take a picture, give them a hug or something. Man, don't you know that go a long way, man? They say a brother of my caliber stopped and took the time to talk to me, to shake my hand, to take a picture with me. I made somebody's day, brother. They could have been having a bad day and go out there and shoot and kill somebody. Just because of me stopping and taking that little time, they changed their mind from doing that. So, brother, you just got to reach out. You know, I when I see the brothers, I say, brother, I see you. Be safe. That's what I say. Be safe. I'm not saying don't protect yourself. You defend yourself at all costs. And I'm not out there.
Right.
You can't nobody say that I cater more to the 6-point star than I cater to the 5-point star. They can't say that
Right.
about me. I see one color, black. That's all I see. And I tell the brothers, I don't care what star that you represent under, and I'm not knocking nobody's street trap. They locking us all up. So it don't, they
Exactly.
they locking us all up.
Exactly.
5 or under 6, it don't make no difference. We all got the same last name.
Hey,
It's black.
5, 6, a punch of the 9 to 5. They want you in jail.
That's it.
So,
That's right.
That's it. That's it. And they have already
Yep.
shown us, just jumping off subject a little bit, look who they letting over here, coming over here. These people got an agenda.
Illegal.
They have promised
Oh
these
yeah,
people.
absolutely.
They have promised these people, and I'm not using even when I say these people, that's not in a racial slur way. They have promised
Right.
the migrants something. That's why they're coming. They're not just coming over
Yeah,
here.
but they've
just-
also promised them that in exchange for their vote.
Right. Okay. But I'm just saying, it's a reason why they're coming over here by the thousands.
Yeah.
Listen, and they're not coming
Yeah.
over here to benefit us as black people. They come here to
That's right.
benefit the white people. The white people got a plan for them. And the plan is to replace us.
Absolutely.
And I'm just telling y'all keep
Absolutely.
going around there. I don't see nothing wrong with listen. If a man or a woman don't take care of a household and try to take care of another household, she's a hypocrite. She's an infidel. She's an unbeliever.
Exactly.
So go ahead, sister.
And that's a big problem in our race too, Martin. We have been, because black people, don't get me wrong, we got our problems. And we got some stuff we got to change. But and when I say black people, I'm talking about the root of the melanin. Anything that we see is going to benefit, we want to share with everybody.
Mhm.
And every race, the reason why they have the racial unity that they have is because they understand that you take care of home first before you go help somebody else.
Mhm. Let me
And
say.
black
Yeah.
people, we're so quick
Let me say this,
to
sister.
want to let everybody in,
Let me say
and we
this.
can't keep doing that. We
Let me-
gotta help our own.
Let me say this, sister. There's not
Mhm.
a Bible, a Quran, or a law in the United States Constitution of America is going to stop the white man from feeding his children first before he feed anybody else. There's
That's
not
right.
one.
That's
and we're
right.
supposed to, and not to compare us to white people, but we're supposed to have that same
know.
mentality. We're supposed to have that same
Yep.
mentality. So I'm not mad at no Mexicans that stick with Mexicans. I'm not mad at no whites that stick with whites. I'm not mad at them all.
Exactly.
I'm hoping that we'll learn that one day.
Exactly.
We
I
all
agree.
we got. That's all I'm saying.
And that don't mean I'm anti that. I'm just
That's
trying to
right.
be pro us.
Listen, brother.
Exactly.
Listen,
Exactly.
bro,
And I've
listen.
heard you say that a pretty time, Martin.
That's
I'm
it.
pro-black. That don't mean I'm anti-white.
That
I
don't
hear
mean
you
it's
say it all the
anti
time.
anything, right?
That's
But
it.
the first
That's it.
rule of nature is self-preservation.
That's it.
And see,
That's
this
it.
is the problem. And this is what I said earlier when I was talking about if you when I talked about statistics. When you stray from the norm, it's not gonna work out. When you go off the deep end and you get to doing things that, like what you said earlier, when you said just because we see this all the time don't mean it's normal.
Right.
It's not normal the way that we are operating in society, and that's the reason why we're having these problems. And I'll go a step further. You asked, you said, Martin, you said you go to those young men and you say, why? Why do you want to hurt this person? Why do you want to have your pants sagging and this, that, and the other? if you deal with the psychology of it, and that's another thing that's wrong in our race, Black people in America are the last ones to go get psychological therapy and help. It's taboo for us to do that, and we have to get away from that. We need help. Now, that's number one. Number two, when you have a mass amount of children, the youth, that in their homes, their mothers and fathers have done the battle of the sexes their whole life. They don't know nothing but war. And I got attacked, and I got attacked for the last year and a half. Make Kevin Samuels rest in peace. They got mad at me because I said Kevin Samuels telling the truth. You cannot keep saying that you want the protection of this man, the Black man, and he has to be the provider, and he has to be romantic, and he has to be a father, and he has to be a stepfather, and he has to be all these things. But then when he tell you, the wigs ain't working for me because you show your real hair, and you get mad at, you got these claw nails, and he say, well, could you cut them down some? I'm gonna do what I want to do. You're trying to tell me what to do. These children have grown up in an environment where everyone they come in contact with is in a war. There's no peace. And once again, it starts in the home. Mm-hmm. They didn't pick the Black men and the Black woman against each other since the 60s when the feminist movement got started following civil rights. And these are things that once again, those little tricks. We fell for those little tricks that they did, and then you're sitting up here that's why I asked you, do you believe statistics are true? Because numbers don't lie. 1 in 4 Black women will have a wedding ring. That's outrageous. And now they're all over TikTok and social media with an attitude because Black men are breaking records because they're getting passports going overseas to Nigeria and Ghana and the Haiti to find their wife because they're tired of American women with the attitudes saying, you can't tell me what to do. When does the war end? These kids deal with a war in their house. They deal with a war in school. They deal with a war on the street. Where's the peace? Come on, we got to have some type of peace, man.
That's good. Listen,
and it starts at home.
Listen,
and
sister.
Women, and if there's one thing if people go back and watch this, for the people who are watching this now, as a Black woman, I'm gonna tell you, we have to stop the battle of the sexes in Black homes. We have to bring our Black men back home. Stop telling them they can't discipline their kids. We got to stop that. That's another reason why the youth is out of control, because ain't no man telling them, hey, they don't fear their fathers because their mother talking about, don't put your hands on my kids. That's his kids too. You think he don't love his kids? He ain't gonna kill them. He know what to do to discipline his son. Stop telling that man, don't tell my child what to do. We got a lot of work to do, man.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And no one is saying anything. That's why I said everybody talking about it's not my business. I should be able to tell my sister, my niece, or my friend, when she talking about, when he came over here and he was in my son's face, I should be able to tell her, he should have been in your son's face because your son is out of control.
Well, that goes back to what Martin was saying. And before you came on, sister, we were saying that our upbringing was totally different. That's just the reality. That's just a fact. That doesn't mean I don't still distill and put in what my mother and father taught me to my kids, but we also know that there's other people that's not on the same page as us. Mm-hmm. So that's just the reality. Like right now, like Martin said, and like you were saying, normal doesn't exist. What we thought was normal. Mm-hmm. What we thought was normal isn't normal anymore. Yeah. So we can't stay stuck in that world. We can stay there, but we also got to come into the reality and say negative is normal. That don't mean we have to be negative. Mm-hmm. That don't mean we have to go up, but we have to say, okay, what we're talking about is not logic to people. Oh man, they talking about peace. They ain't trying to hear all that, man. They talking about rappers. They ain't trying to hear all that, because some people don't want their reality distorted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what we was raised as what was normal, it's not like that no more. And guess what? I get it. And so I had to learn to change and adapt. I say adapt to it. That don't mean I got to bounce to the beat, but I got to sit back and say, okay, I get it. Because certain things my kids do that I know was raised by me, but they're grown now, I have to scratch my head to.
Yeah.
Because I know they know better. But guess what? They grown now. Them they choices.
Hey, listen, y'all.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the conversation, but it's time for me to
Man,
cut off.
thank you,
too.
brother.
I really did, Sam and Mark.
Hey,
This was
man,
great.
hey, Mark, keep doing you, man.
Thank you, man. You know, just keep me in your prayers.
I thank you.
Man, I'm just here to
Man,
serve,
I pray.
brother.
Trust me, I pray for you, man. And I know everybody in Chicago, they love you, man. People, man, I appreciate you for the sacrifice. And like I said, you the leader. You that Shaka Zulu. Like I tell people, I don't go far to look for my mama is my Shira. And brothers like you is my hero. I don't know a lot of celebrities like that. So I don't illusion. I ain't in the illusion world. I want to be able to talk to my heroes.
Even though I'm famous and got all this, brother, it don't bother me, brother. You know what? I know where I come from. I come from out of the mud, brother. And I ain't gonna never forget where I come from. I come from the mud. Now, do I gotta stay in the mud? No. But I recognize where I come from. I know the struggle, brother. I'm not gonna let another race of people tell me you better than them. You're not like them. You're different. No. I'm the same. Trust me. We the same. It's just I was fortunate enough to get blessed. God used me to elevate me to the level that I'm at, brother. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people all the time, I'm black, even when I'm around a bunch of white folks. And I be around a bunch of them. And I'm the only black, maybe two blacks in the room. But they know I'm still wearing my flag and I'm flying it high. I tell you, I love being black. I love my black people. Trust me. And I'm not going to get in a room with them.
So I got a best for these.
Yeah.
You like the dialogue. I see it. And I see you tell me you be so controversial. You like the dialogue. What's your Instagram or where you be dialoguing at?
You know, I'm from East New Dawn, New Daytona. Look, I stay in Facebook jail for 30 days because they hate my truth.
Yeah. But it's okay.
They lock you up.
Well, you know what?
They lock you up.
I stay in Facebook jail.
Well, you know, you can always get on my page on YouTube and always comment and call, and you know that even when I'm in jail. So that's why I'm right now I'm doing YouTube. I didn't even put it on my regular Martin G page. This is on my Martin Johnson page. I was like, I meant to put it on the Martin G page, but for some reason it didn't go on that page. But you know how I go. I'll take what they can give me. You know,
I'm gonna subscribe to you on YouTube.
Okay, you do Martin G. Johnson.
And this conversation was very wonderful, and I enjoyed it.
You know what?
I just hope that somebody listened and got the message.
Let me just say this. You know, I'm gonna close with this. I'm not here to embarrass people, to show them up. I want to hear from you guys because I don't know everything. I don't have all the answers, and I'm a great listener. Sometimes y'all probably think I'm not even listening, but I'm listening. I get quiet and let you guys communicate because it's not about me. It's about you guys. You know, that's what it's about. I'm just a vessel. God chooses ordinary people to do extraordinary things, and that's me. There's nothing great about me. I sleep, I eat. Hey, I do everything. I like everything else. Everybody else like. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into drugs and all that, but I'm human. And I try to show the humanity side of me. I'm trying not to be arrogant, which I'm not arrogant. You know, I tell people that you cannot forget where you come from. And I want to say thank you guys for supporting me. Y'all know it ain't about no money.
Thank you.
You know, a lot of these activists, they've gone Hollywood now. You can't reach them now. You can't touch them. You can't touch them. You got to go.
Thank you for allowing me in your space, brother.
And because you know what? Just like I'm doing, most of these people would not allow you to come on their platform and say anything or speak.
Nope.
They're not going to share your video. They're not going to like on it. They're not going to wish you a happy birthday. And when you see them in public, they're going to turn their nose up. You be like, hold on, is this the same person that I follow on social media and they acting like this? And this person that I donated to their cause and they treat me like this? They can't say that about Martin Johnson. They ain't gonna say, they can't say it about me. Say, I'm holding on to my integrity.
So do me a favor, Martin.
Yes.
Next time I can't hear what's going on and I'm going on and don't stop, shoot me a text.
Okay.
So I can know what's going on.
It wasn't no disrespect, because I told you when you got back, I said you were saying some great things, but I wanted to say something. You know, I don't really.
Absolutely, but no, look, I don't want to go back to the video and I hear you like, she won't shut up, and I'm like, dang.
Well, it's there though. It's there, sister. It's there. But I didn't disrespect you though. I didn't disrespect you. I didn't say nothing bad about you.
I know you wouldn't do that.
I didn't say.
I know you wouldn't.
Oh no, you you definitely just really, like I say, even when Martin was saying some things, and like I say, I think one thing about this dialogue, everybody walked away with something extra. Like Martin said, bro, you got to worry about social media now. He added that to the element.
Yeah, I got
and
it.
it's like, okay, you're right.
Brother, I got it written down right
You're
here.
right.
I got it. School, home, streets, and social media. I wrote that down.
And guess what? I was writing down what you were saying.
Yeah,
See, I was over here, what they call it.
Absolutely.
When we was growing up, we called it jotting. I was jotting down.
Yeah.
I was
jotting it down. What's your next topic gonna be? What night, Martin?
But you know what? I really don't know. I try to remove by my past by the spirit. Let me say the spirit. I don't know. I really don't know. And sometimes I just do a talk show, just me by myself, when I'm live in a car or something. Or, but I'm going to try to be more consistent because I try not to get on here just to blah, blah, blah. So one thing about the truth, you don't have to rehearse it. So whatever I bring, it had to be the truth. I don't have nothing written in front of me and all this. And, well, I'm going to say that. No, listen, when you talk from the heart, you can feel it in the heart. And that's why that's why I'm so effective. And, with people, and that's why I tried to be real, live, uncut, unedited. That's why I stick to that motto.
But I can tell you one thing.
Get up out of here.
But I can tell you one thing that we all agree on, that it really hurts to see these young boys not living to their potential.
Yes,
so
sir.
like,
yes, sir.
They're not it hurts.
Right.
And it bothers me. Sometimes I have to come off social media and I can't even look at the news.
Me too, brother.
Because it just bothers me because I know there's no coming back. It's over.
It's over.
It's not a video game.
Once that
and all we doing is bracing for the next one.
That's it. It's gonna be another one
Let's
tomorrow.
be bracing for the next one.
That's it.
And
brother.
it's a hurting feeling. Even like you say, they ain't got to be a famous rapper, but we know a lot of the underground rappers in Chicago. They getting killed or dying, and there's no coming back from it.
No coming back.
It's that's it, son. And that's what bothers me, because it's over.
It's over.
And they never got a chance to really show their true potentials to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about these kids, people are, and the sad part about it, a lot of people of other races do not believe in these black kids.
No.
They don't. And that's the reality.
Yeah.
They do not believe in them. They really think that they don't believe in them.
Yeah. Well, we listen.
So on that note, man, thank y'all so, sister, brother.
Right.
Love y'all. Be careful.
Thank you too, Sam. Appreciate you. Everybody have a safe evening. All right, bye.
Keep doing what you're doing, Mark.
All right. Peace out. All right, people. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all know what time it is. Uncut.